Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching the channel as always. We're going to work today on a generator. This is a, what is it? It's got a 9 horsepower Vanguard on it. Let me see the brand real quick. Oh, it's just a Generac 5000 watt generator with the 9 horsepower Vanguard Briggs on it. Very similar to the one that I have personally. This Vanguard Briggs is awesome. Runs great, pretty fuel efficient too. I have already verified that this will start on starting fluid and also has voltage at the plug. Don't know if it's 120 because I couldn't get it up to full RPM just on a brief hit of starting fluid, but it did raise voltage as the RPM raised up to about 70 or so before it cut off. So I think we're good on that end. The gas tank is got some old gas in it, so I'm not looking forward to that part of the job. The rest of the job might be fairly easy. We'll see. Just looking at the carburetor from right here, it doesn't look like it's that bad. So hopefully this will not be, well, I know it's already not going to be a repeat of my personal generator, which actually had rust in the cylinder, and which I had to let sit and free up for some time. I literally brought that generator back from the dead, because I didn't think I could save it with all that rust in the cylinder. We already know this one's got pull and compression. Probably replace the pull rope on it too, but small things. Let's go ahead and get into this. Hopefully it will not be that difficult. I will go ahead and drain the gas out after I give you all a look around the generator. Again, if you have any questions about this video or any video you see on the channel, feel free to reach out to me, Ellis at ellismowers.com or at ellismowers09 on Instagram and Facebook. I also have affiliate links down below. Give you a little bit of discount on some partners I'm associated with on the channel. Let's go ahead and get started on this generator, see if we can get it back running, and hopefully get it out of here so we can work on a whole bunch of other stuff I have back here in the backyard. Alright guys, let me give you a walk around of this. If I were to guess, it says I have a number plate on the Briggs engine, so we're going to guess the year. If I were to guess, just looking at the logos and stuff, you're probably looking at around the year 1998, maybe 2000. We'll see. We'll get to that in just a second. But like I said, Vanguard 9 horsepower Briggs on it. It's got, I think this is the Nicky. Oh, I think it may be a Walboro on this thing, which is nice. Overhead valve. 5,000 watt. You got your 120 and 240s. Pretty simple in terms of the generator world, nothing crazy. Generator itself's a little crusty, but like I said, as long as all this works, and that's all we need it to do, right? Oil situation, let's see what that's like. I know that the oil switch is working fine, so yeah, I mean, you can see this thing's had a little use on it, which is not a bad thing to see. We'll need an oil change. That's not a big deal. Air filter was actually fairly new, so I'm wondering if somebody tried to fix this a little bit. And then, ooh, spider. Hello. There we go. Somebody tried to fix this, or it's maybe the original air filter. I don't know. But overall, I think it got clean, may have gotten clean a little bit, but it's been stored inside, as you can see with the spider webs and stuff. I don't know if the gas situation can be shown very well here, but this thing has got some rough looking fuel in it, and it even smells bad. So I've got that to deal with. And that's probably the biggest thing I've got to deal with here. I don't know if I want to run it through I don't know if I just want to take the gas tank off and just dump it out. Run some water through it. Let it dry out for a minute while I look at the carburetor. but that's kind of where we're at. So, oh yeah, we're gonna guess the year. What do y'all think? I was right in the middle actually. It's a 18543 Briggs. Date code is 990414. So April 14th of '99 was when this engine was made, which means this is probably 99 model generator. One other thing that's a little bit annoying is that this thing doesn't have any sort of like bumpers or anything on it. And so I've got to figure out how I want to maybe put some bumpers on it, because so that it sits level. Because right now it's not. I'm toying with the idea of prying this up a little bit and securing some wheels under there and just making it like a little four-wheel generator. So we'll see what I end up doing there. That will come after I get it running. Let me grab some 10 millimeters because that's about all we need to get all this carb stuff off. And I might grab a Phillips screwdriver first to see if there's any junk that comes out, or if they left the fuel off. Did they leave the fuel off? They did. We might be lucky here. We might not have to drain the carburetor. We'll give it a look. We'll drain the carburetor, see if there's anything in it, and then we'll come back out and see what we might be able to do with the fuel situation. So I think we're going to be all right. I still need to clean the carb, but that's all the gas that was in the carburetor. So, and in the bowl. So that tells me that somebody did do their best to run this dry before they stored it. Still was not enough, but it was definitely enough to prevent more varnish and stuff. So this might be a candidate for an ultrasonic clean here. I just need to get my solution and stuff set up to put in there for it. Might go ahead and get that set up while I get this carb off. Fuel lines are dry rotted. We'll have to replace those. I am going to get the gas tank off and give it a good wash inside and just let it dry out in the 100-degree heat. Yeah, it's not quite 100 degrees in the outside, but get it in the sun, that thing will dry out real quick. And might be just a matter of changing the oil and cleaning it up after that. Let's see what we need to do to get this off. Get these tires out of the way real quick. Looks like you have 1, 2, 3 10 millimeters right here. I'll rejoin you after I get those off. Alright, so here's the point that I am at on this. Where we are is you have to take this bolt off, and there's one other bolt right there that you have to take off in order to get this plate loose here. And so now that you get this plate loose, and I've taken the gas line off as well, you can kind of work it out. Actually, I think what you can also do, if I remember right, there's another bolt on this side that you can take out. Right, is it right there? Yeah, so you can take this bolt out right here, unplug your switch, on-off switch, and then you can take off this 10 millimeter. Like so. This should remove this panel now, and it does. You almost need to pop off this, there we go, pop off your throttle, and I think this thing will basically slide off now, just like that. And that gives you access to the carburetor. There's a couple of rings that are behind this plate right here that you need to make sure that you hold on to, and then you should be able to slide this thing out enough so that you can get your linkages off. And then we can see that we've got a pretty bad jet blockage. Kind of looks like the needle in the seat's stuck too. So we got to do a little bit of work on this thing in order to get it going. I might poke a hole through the needle here before I put it in the ultrasonic, which I've got warming up now, and we should be all right, I think. A little bit of varnish here and a little bit of varnish there. Might give it, like I said, a little preliminary carb clean before I put it in there. Let the ultrasonic free up everything, including the needle in the seat. Just stick it in here like this. Stick the bowl in as well as the main jet. So get some of that broken up, or at least make it so that I can break it up a little bit easier, because this is pretty stuck on varnish. Anyways, that's what we're gonna do. Need to grab all the necessary items in order to set that washer aside. But let me poke a little bit of hole through the wire here, and then we'll see what we got. Well, we've got the carb baking in the ultrasonic there. And we'll turn our attention to the gas tank now. So, we definitely need to put some fuel line on it. The fuel grommet, the good news is all this mess is right here up at the front. So, it doesn't need that much line in order to get from the, gas shutoff valve to where we stick it in the carburetor. So that's good. Clean out some of these spider webs and stuff out of here. We'll get that when we wash it. I know some people harp on me for you need to clean your stuff. Yeah, I know. When it's ready, I clean it. I guess I just like to get my hands dirty. I don't know. Figure that if it runs dirty, it'll run clean. That's not always the best philosophy, but hey, whatever, right? Anyways, I think I'm literally going to be able to do all this with 10 millimeters. We got 4 10mm bolts. Gonna need a wrench on the bottom. This will literally lift this. I'll do it here on camera while we're here. Pretty much lift this gas tank off. These got little bushings and stuff in them too, so just make sure you hold on to everything. I'm gonna get the other 3. Literally, I think you just take these last 3 bolts off and you can raise the entire tank up, since I've got it disconnected from the carb. One thing I'm gonna do is cut this zip tie here. Yeah, just let that whole thing crash down, but then we can have the rest of the bolts and we'll get the gas tank off and just see how bad the gas is, truly. Look at this, guys. When I took the tank off, rodents and snakes. So I'll get some gloves and also a vacuum and maybe a wire brush and just get this taken care of before I put the gas tank back on. Just wanted to show you that. Gas tank lifts right off like I mentioned. No big deal at all. I'm going to drain it out, wash it out, and this thing should be fairly dry by the time I get it to the point where I can clean the carb on it. I'll replace the pull rope while I'm at it as well. Literally, it's just all we're going to do is pull this out completely. It's 4 10mm bolts again. To take this off, we're going to pull the pull rope out completely, cut it, get my new rope, cut it to length, and then with a screwdriver we'll recoil it back. Be ready to roll with the pull rope as well. So, because this does have a little bit of fraying on it right there, and I don't want this thing to be breaking on anybody, especially when they're trying to get their generator started in a storm. So, but yeah, this thing just needs a good washing, and I might actually wash it without the tank on it, just because of all the junk and stuff that's in it. I think this plate actually will lift off too. It will if I do the bottom down there. So, but I think I can get most of this with the pressure washer just kind of underneath it. Must be like an insulating pad or something to keep the heat out of the gas tank. I'll clean all this up, put the pull rope on it, clean the gas tank, and at the point that I'm getting the carburetor back together, I'll show you how clean that is. We'll put it back together, and then we'll see what we can do with everything else. Alright guys, so about 20 minutes have passed, and I'll tell you what, for these generator gas tanks, I did the blue side of the gas tank, or of the vacuum cleaner here, after I washed it out. And this thing got it dry quick. I mean, like within a couple minutes of just blowing that little vacuum cleaner down there. So the gas tank's ready to go on. I have cleaned the best of my ability this off right here. And the carburetor's out of the ultrasonic cleaner, and just in the ultrasonic cleaner, it has cleaned up the bowl that much. So I think I can work with that. Made in Japan. So this may be a Mikuni. It is a Mikuni carburetor. I misspoke earlier. Thought it was a Walbro. Either way, I don't think I've got the needle in the seat fixed yet, but I think I'll take some pliers and see if I can at least get this pin out so that I can pull it out and then hopefully clean it. I might do another run of about 8 to 10 minutes in there while I get the gas tank on and all that prepped and put the carburetor back on. Jet's still a little clogged, but I think I'm going to get some carb spray and see if I can get it unclogged before I roll into doing another round, as well as see if I can get this jet off. I might be able to not have to do another cleaning, but we'll see, because a lot of times wire brush will work really well in order to get some of this stuff off. But in terms of the choke and the throttle is fine. This carb really isn't bad, considering how long this thing probably sat. It probably sat a long time. See if I can get a screwdriver and get that jet out. But that's what I'm going to work on next. I'll let you see kind of what I end up with before I put the carburetor back together. And then we'll get everything back together and see if this thing will run. And then we'll give it a good wash. And figure out either some bumpers I can put on the legs, or see if I can figure out some wheels to put on this thing, just so that it sits even and is easy to roll. Alright guys, so one critical thing that I forgot to mention is that there is a top jet on these that needs cleaning, and I have done so with this one. It lives right there where that hole is, and what it does is it actually runs down from the top jet down through the bottom, and it turned out that I actually had enough varnish to where it was blocking the carburetor to where I couldn't even see the main jet right there. So that was interesting. I'm going to put this jet back on and put that jet back on, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead, I'll put the bowl back on. But you can see a couple of stents in the carb, or in the ultrasonic. Seems like this thing is good. Whenever I do the whenever I do the blow test, it seems like it's okay. And we'll find out. Worst case, I get an aftermarket one. I don't really have any money in this, so it's gonna work out okay, even if I have to put like 20 bucks in it. Only got what, a couple hours in it as well, so I'll make a decent money off of this. Let me get everything set up. We'll put the carburetor back onto the generator here in just a second. Alright guys, I think I left off with the carburetor being on the tray there. Now we are going to see if we can get this thing started. I put it back on pretty easy. I can try and give you a Cliff Notes version of it. So you put the throttle linkage in. Getting the choke in was a little bit difficult, but it goes into a little lever arm. It goes into the arm that which the bolts to those two bolts up there at the top. The next thing that you got to do is slide the carb on, slide this little plate on behind it that houses the choke, and then you have these two little washer spacer looking things that actually go through this plastic piece. I put them on first before I put the plastic piece on, and then I put the nuts on, and that seemed to work okay. I do have gas in it. I have turned the gas on. Pull rope wise, I did not worry about because it's just a very small freight, and that's the really thick rope. So I didn't want to worry about that. What I do want to see is if it will start, and I'm going to get it out of my garage just in case it does smoke up the whole place. The oil is a little dark. It is full though, so let's see. Alright, so choke, start. How about that? First pull. Let's check our voltages in the back. That's awesome. That's excellent. I love it. I love it. All right, now it's a matter of just getting it back together, and I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this front here with the wheels and such, or figuring out how to raise it and level it. So I'm not quite sure what I want to do there, but I will let y'all know as soon as I figure out how I want to go about that. Awesome. surprised. I'm really surprised I saved that carburetor, and the ultrasonic cleaner came through. It's great. Still got a little skip on it, but this is the next day. Here's what I've done to it. I have installed a couple of handles because this thing right here is a little frustrating to move around. So I just found a couple of lawnmower handles that I wasn't using. The bottom, I think they're off of Craftsman or whatever, a newer one. And so I just took them, and now I've got handles to move it around with, which is great. I just took some wood blocks and stacked them up and screwed them together and made them my feet so that the generator sits level. And I think we're good to go. I am going to let it run for maybe a good 15 minutes or so. I do need to change the oil, and I'm going to wash it. I'll try not to get anything on the generator motor itself. I'll wash around it just to get all this crud and stuff off. And then we'll list it for sale. So I'll join y'all when I get this thing nice and clean, and we'll come back and see what needs to be or see the final product of this generator. As you can see, I've got another one here I think y'all have already seen on the channel, and then a bunch of other projects that come in along with riders. So I'm glad this one was only like a day and a half turnaround. Let me get it cleaned up. I'll show you the final product. Alright guys, I gave this thing a good pressure washing along with another mower that you'll see on the channel here pretty soon. Hopefully, as long as everything goes well. This is it all cleaned up and finished. We're done with this thing. So just take a nice little look around. Again, I put these handles on. These things work great because I was having to lift it right here, and it was really, really awkward. And now, whenever I lift the handles up, it's really easy. I'm not crazy about the feet that I have on it, but the way that I have it screwed in, but I don't really have I don't know of a much better option than that. I don't really have anything here that would work apart from that, so it'll work. It just basically needs to hold the thing level. What I'm going to do, I've dried out everything around the electrical outlets and such so that we don't have any problems. But what I'm going to do, I'll crank it up and we'll see what we end up with here. What really surprises me is when I took that rubber grommet out and put it back in that it's not leaking, so that's a huge positive. How bad that carb was, that thing runs pretty good, don't it? Doesn't even flinch. You can hear it working though. That's good. The other outlet? Oh yeah. This is about 1500 watts right here. did give it an oil change and all that good stuff too, so we've got that going on, but it's ready to roll. I think, like I said, the lot that I got this in, it really wasn't that. I've already paid for the lot because I had a Craftsman self-propel mower and a Poland Pro push mower. Paid $180 for the lot and got $175 for the Craftsman, and $100 plus a couple of trades. So I've made a little bit more money off of that. This right here will probably fetch close to $300, so I think I did pretty good on that lot, getting things. So it's basically a carbon copy of the one that I have here that I use at home, which is, it's an excellent generator. It's the one that I use here at home is the one that actually had rust in the cylinder that I got out, fixed it, and got it back together, and kept it because I liked it better than my 10 horsepower one. That was a non-Vanguard. Both of them are great generators, but wanted something that had a Vanguard on it. So these things right here are tough and they'll run forever. Not with as bad of a carburetor as this thing had, but hey, what I'm really happy about is that I was able to fix this carburetor instead of having to buy one, because as opposed to when I did my personal one that had so much corrosion in it that I couldn't even get the needle out without breaking it off or basically sawing it out. This one was just straight varnish and just a few cycles in the ultrasonic. Got that thing almost, it's not squeaky clean, but it's about 95% clean, and the rest of it I could do with screwdrivers and wire brushes and stuff. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I did not have as high of hopes. Obviously I buy these not knowing if the generator motor works or not. So generator motor works good. Engine now runs good with the original carburetor after we've cleaned it. So it's a win all around. We've leveled it with some wood blocks, added some handles to it, and made it a very user-friendly generator for somebody. So thank y'all again for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, and remember, if you have any questions about this video or anything that you see on the channel, you can reach out to me, Ellis at ellismowers.com, or you can reach out to me, ellismowers09 on Instagram and Facebook. I'll catch y'all on the next video. See you then.